So what's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Ask Ray. I'm Ray. I'm the host of this channel, of this show on this channel. If you have a question for me or a comment or something that you would like me to elaborate on, please feel free to leave it down below in the comments of this video, and I'll be sure to answer it and or talk about it in a future video. Now, as always, let's jump right into your questions and comments. So glad to see your sub count almost double since you did the gym route gear rundown. Congrats, Ray. You were killing it. 2020 is your year, homie. Well, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've certainly gotten a lot of traction since, the internet found out that Jim Root is like my favorite guitar player, and there really wasn't a lot of, market for his gear and his stuff. And then, of course, the rig rundown. And, he and I constantly staying in touch really has helped out our channel a lot. It's really cool, man. So, hey, thank you for the kind words. And, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, for some really cool stuff coming up in summer 2020, man. So, I hope it happens, man. So, but again, seriously, thank you so much. Hey, Ray, hopefully your surgery was a success and you have a quick recovery. Well, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. It was a success. I actually left the doctor today to get the stitches out, so we're all good. Do you find that having a YouTube channel helps you exercise your writing muscles and makes it easier to write and come up with riffs since you are constantly creating new stuff for demos, shootouts, etc.? Yes and no. It certainly forces me to be creative and constantly put stuff out there. But it's hard though, you know what I mean? Like, I'm only one guy, doing all the riffs and all the arrangements and stuff like that. So it's like, when you only have one idea, one brain creating all the ideas, it can certainly be a little challenging, and it's kind of challenging for me, because sometimes I feel like, I'll start to come up with a riff or a demo song or a full-on fleshed out song for my solo stuff, and it'll start to sound like stuff that's very similar, just because, again, I'm one brain, running the show. But to answer your question, I think it does, having a YouTube channel and having social media presence certainly does help me be creative and force me to not only practice diligently and be regimented in that aspect, but also it allows me to be creative and constantly just rack my brain for some new, creative ideas for creating riffs. So, yeah, man, absolutely. Luna Muerta project is so sick. Everyone should check out your solo album, Ray. Would be amazing to see another one. Well, hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, all my stuff's on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, whatever. Shameless plug. But yeah, man, a lot of people seem to be really digging my solo stuff. And the goal is to write one at the end of 2020 and or release it at the end of 2020. There's no definitive deadline for when it's going to be released, but I've actually got like some local musicians that we're going to go out and play some live stuff with my music, and then who knows what's going to happen with that, man. So seriously, thank you. I appreciate that, and yeah, man, I hope everybody digs the music that I create, man. Thank you. Favorite horror movie? Well, this is ironic that I'm wearing the shirt of my favorite horror movie, but yes, I love Halloween 2. Unpopular opinion right now, but guess what? I don't give a heck. So I think the original Halloween is very, very overrated. I think that portrayal of Michael Myers is very clumsy and kind of dumb. Perfect example, like, he jumps over the couch to stab Laurie Strode, but completely whiffs and hits, like, directly in the center of the couch when she's, like, an additional 1.5 to 2 feet away from where he's stabbing. And then he breaks through the closet, and then he looks right, looks center, looks up, looks center, and then looks left again, and Laurie's in the corner. But I just don't like that portrayal of Michael Myers. I get why it was so groundbreaking, for sure. But I think Halloween 2 is the most evil Michael Myers. And, just something about being in a hospital setting where he's just kind of just like patrolling the hallways. Very, very creepy, man. And then I think the score in Halloween 2 is better than the original, with kind of like the gothic synth and, organ sounds and stuff like that. I think that is just, it's so good. I love it so much. And of course, just with everything in my life, there's a lot of nostalgia tied into Halloween 2. I remember watching AMC Monster Fest before it was Fear Fest back in like 2000, 2001. Watching that movie, and probably 99 too. Every year, just watching that with my mom and my dad, at their respective houses. But I think Halloween 2 is by far the best Michael Myers movie, and is certainly my favorite horror movie. And like I said, ironic enough, I'm wearing the shirt. So pretty cool. Ray, have you ever thought about adding vocals to your Luna Muerta songs? So I tried. I have like maybe 1 or 2 on Spotify, on the platforms, with vocals and stuff. But I don't like it. I really don't. It's cool enough to me that you guys like my vocals. Well, most of you do, some of you don't, but that's okay. But yeah, it's just like, first off, it's another thing that I have to do. I'm doing everything by myself: the guitar, the bass, the arrangement, the drums, you know, the MIDI drums. They're not real drums. I think you guys know that. But you know, just to add vocals, you know, not only have to create the lyrics that make sense, but then I'd have to perform the vocals, and that in of itself is a huge task to make them sound good. So like, I don't really have any desire to add vocals to Luna Muerta. If I was to add vocals to something that I was doing, it'd be a completely different project. Because when I write for songs that need vocals, it sounds nothing like Luna Muerta. It sounds like a completely different band or project, if you will. If I ever do down the road, it'll be for a different band or a different project. Luna Muerta from now on, 99% of the time won't have vocals. And yeah, man. But you know, I'll throw up some covers here and there every once in a while. I'll probably throw up some covers in the near future of, you know, some stuff under the name Luna Muerta with some vocals, but the original stuff 99% of the time won't have any scream vocals. So, dude, Ray, what is the best way to find bandmates? It's a hard question. It's a very hard question, and I struggled with it up until recently for a long time. And the best way I would describe it is to find people that have the same work ethic as you. Now, what do I mean by that? If you are just kind of like, you know, you want to create a band, you guys want to jam, you know, in a practice space, whether it's an attic, a basement, or like, you know, you rent a space, whatever. If you guys just want to jam and then maybe play like a one-off show somewhere, and just like, you know, if it doesn't go anywhere, that's fine. It's more or less for fun. That's fine. And that's a lot easier to find. But if you want to go out and create something and play live and play like a, you know, play shows and tour around your regional area and really go for it, I think that's the hardest thing to find, because, you know, finding people that are extremely dedicated and work as hard, if not harder than you, depending on, you know, your work ethic. I'm assuming, you know, but this made up scenario, you want to go for it 110%. It's a lot of difficulty trying to find other people that are willing to go 110% and do whatever it takes to make it and make a name for a band. So the best way to find it, oh man, you can find people anywhere online, you know, on Facebook, you know, whatever. But I think once you find, let me put it this way. I think it's easier to find bandmates than it is to find serious bandmates and match your level. And the more intense you are and the more serious you are about it, the harder it is to find them. So that kind of answers your question, but not really. You know, I understand it's kind of like a backwards way to answer it. But if you're serious about creating a band or creating a project, it is very difficult to find people that are 100% committed to the craft and committed to making this band, this hypothetical band, into something serious. But when you do find those people, man, it's a great kind of sort of marriage and business relationship, if you will. Perfect example, Fernando. He said it on his Ask Fern Friday, his first episode. If you guys know Fernando. He's just one of the most amazing drummers I've ever seen on the internet. He said, like, you know, we meaning him and I, Rufus and then Thomas, formed this kind of super group online to do, like, you know, some Slipknot stuff. And, you know, I love that he said it, because we all four of us have like a similar energy and a desire to keep pushing and keep growing. And so when you're trying to create your own band and your own project, you got to find people that match your energy and match your work ethic. And like I said, the more hungry you are for success, the harder it is to find people that are like-minded. And that's with anything in life. You know, whether or not you're doing a band or whether you're doing, you know, whatever. It's hard to find people that are willing to go for it and truly go for it, and that you can trust and that you can rely on, that won't let you down or won't skip out on practices or are willing to take it seriously. So, but the last thing I'll say about that topic is if you're serious about it, you know, don't go about it the wrong way. Don't be egotistical, and don't be mean, and don't be, you know, a dictator, and don't be this, that, and the third. Be a good person. But, you know, if people aren't working out, politely, you know, say no thank you, or, you know, it's just not good for me. You know, don't be mean and don't be arrogant about it. There's ways to go about it, but in the back of your mind, you got to realize, hey, you know, this person isn't working out. And so, you know, rather than tearing them down and tearing them apart, just say no thank you and just move on and try to find somebody that you can work with. So I hope that all that long story short answers your question. So guys, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much as always for you guys' participation. It's a lot of fun for me to answer the questions that you guys want to know from me. It's awesome and amazing that you guys care enough about my opinions on this stuff. And, you know, I really, really enjoy interacting with you guys and answering your questions. And if I haven't gotten to your question yet, please feel free to leave it down below in this video, and it'll just get in front of me once more. If I haven't answered yet, nothing personal. I'm just trying to, just trying to keep this series going and just trying to continue to have more and more content and more questions and comments. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to leave a question and comment down below for next week or the following week, and I'll be sure to square you guys away. I am out of here. A huge shout out to all my patrons and everybody watching at home. Stay metal, everybody, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.